present. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the prayer. I'll give the prayer following that.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. Lord, we come today to do the business of Chester County. Lord, we pray for your blessings over this meeting. Lord, please guide us as we make decisions. Please watch over our county, Lord. Watch over our citizens. Let them have a productive week and end of this year as we come to a close. Lord, we just give thanks for all the ways you blessed our county and pray for your continued blessings. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, so first item of business is 3A, which is the approval of minutes from the October 6, 2025 council meeting.
I'll make a motion we approve the minutes of October 6, 2025.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All right, we've got the those in favor of approving the October 6, 2025 council meeting minutes, please raise your right hand and say aye.
Aye.
All in favor? All right, next up, we have citizens' comments. We have one person signed up. We have Ms. Roxanne James. So we've got 3 minutes. If you'll come forward and state your name and address for us.
Good evening. My name is Roxanne James. I live at 2314 Old Richburg Road, Richburg, South Carolina. I have 2 residences. But anyway, I'm here tonight as a veteran. And I'm so excited that we have our Veterans Day, Chester County, the Chamber, and the War Memorial Committee. We're so excited about Veterans Day in Chester County. We hope to have a good turnout, and we hope each and every one of you will join us. We also have a preview meeting on November the 6th. You've already been sent an invitation, and I want to say Mr. Hester has some exciting news to share for all of Chester County, and Chester County will once again shine throughout the state. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so next up, we have item 5A, ordinance 2025-21, providing for an amendment. This is a public hearing. Providing for an amendment to ordinance number 2025-8, which amended ordinance number 2021-18, which provided for the use of excess funding for projects and/or capital projects as provided for under ordinance 2019-5 and providing for other related matters. I don't have anyone signed up to speak. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak to that? Hearing no one, seeing no one speak up, I will state that that is closed. Next up, we have the item 6A, which is Resolution 2025-27 to transfer allocated funds from the Contracts and Procurement Department to the Finance Department in accordance with Ordinance 2025-11, Section 4, and to provide for related matters. We have our Treasurer, Tommy Darby. If we'll ask that you come forward and speak to us.
Good evening. So the budget ordinance requires council approval to move budgeted funds between departments. And so what finance is asking is to move funds that are budgeted for an accounting tech position within the purchasing department over to finance for a payroll specialist position. Currently, those duties are being done by our senior accountant, and previously they were being done by the accounting tech position, but that person in that role transferred to another department, and so those duties are being done by another position within finance. So we're just asking to move those funds over so we can hire a dedicated payroll person within finance.
I make a motion we go with the resolution and allow him to transfer the funds.
All right, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All right, those in favor, please raise your right hand and say aye.
Aye.
All in favor. Thank you. Next up, we have our administrator's report. Mr. Hester.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, council members. First, I would just like to say, over to my left, if you don't recognize, we have Nicole Workman, our county attorney, is back. And so just to welcome her back, we're excited to have her back with us. And We missed Nicole, and we're glad to have you back on board again, and I'm sorry about all the work I've laid on your desk recently. The second thing that I'd like to talk about real quick is just thank you to our South Carolina Department of Transportation. I know sometimes, you know, they get a bad rap, but they have done an amazing job in assisting us with the cleanup of the bypass. And I'll talk about what that cleanup means in just a minute. Highway 9, Columbia Street coming in, and the bypass all the way back around to 72. But they brought in equipment and assisted with scraping the grass that was growing over in the roadway, scraping the grass off sidewalks, edging, and just cleaning that whole area up. And again, we've got I call it a beautification, picking up Chester work committee that worked alongside them to get that done, and then put a plan in place to try to keep that looking the way it looks now. So if you don't notice, take time to look at those sidewalks and the edging, and look how little or no grass is growing over into that. And it really looks good, because I think there was a couple of council members that received some complaints about that a while back as well. And so that's been kind of on the forefront for us to work on. But they did such an amazing job coming in with equipment. I think they spent about 2 weeks here working on that and helping us. So our hats off to them, and we really appreciate the partnership that we have with them. And then lastly, if we'll bring up that picture again, please. And then keep going down for me. Down a little bit more. One more. There you go. So just a quick update on our Westchester expansion, and this is just kind of a conceptual. Go to the next one, please. Conceptual still. The next one. The back. And then one more. And so here's a real-life picture of where we are today. The pad was poured, I believe the pad was poured on October 2nd. And then you can see there that starting, it looks like tomorrow, they're going to start erection. The building has been delivered and is on site. They're going to start erection of the addition to it. And then there's a timeline there as to kind of what they see going forward with that erection and the dry-in of that building. But project's moving forward on schedule, and just wanted to give a quick update. Is there one more picture after that? I'm not sure. Is that it, David? Okay, thank you. And with that, Mr. Chairman, that concludes my administrator's report.
All right, thank you very much. All right, so next up, we have our consent agenda. So we have item 8A, which is the third reading of ordinance 2025-21. The item 8B is the second reading of CCMA 25-21. C is the second reading of CCMA 25-22. D is the second reading of CCMA 25-23. E, second reading of CCMA 25-24. F is the second reading of CCMA 25-25. G, the second reading of CCMA 25-26. H, the second reading of CCMA 25-27.
Make a motion, we approve the consent agenda. Items number A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. Those in favor, please raise your right hand and say aye.
Aye.
All in favor. All right, that brings us to old business. Item 9A is a Visitor and Veterans History Center update. Vice Chair Aaron Mosley.
All righty, thank you very much. So for updates concerning, I know Mr. Stoudemire's here as well to kind of back me up a little bit for anything that I missed, because there's such good news coming out. So we have been awarded the PRT grant for the History and Visitor Center in the amount of $100,000. So that's wonderful news that we have there that's going to contribute heavily to that project. There are additional grant opportunities to kind of coincide with the SC 250 as well, so hopefully we can capture some of those. This Wednesday, we have a representative from the Undiscovered Grants with South Carolina PRT here. Will be here Wednesday to meet with Mr. Stoudemire, I believe, Amelia, our communications director, and Kiana, I believe. to kind of see where we can go from there. But she'll be doing a visit here as well to kind of look at the space and see what can be done to kind of benefit the county as well there too. So that's really, really good news coming on. The process for this, there's a 6-step process, and right now we're currently at step number 5, which means basically we're just waiting on the final presentation, which is step number 6. So we're basically at the finish line with that. So those are really good things. Britt, am I missing anything? Am I doing a great job for you? Okay, good. Sure. Come on up. Sorry.
On the grant, we were the top scorer in the state, so was excited about that.
Yep,
So
really good.
they're really excited about what we're doing here.
Yep, good deal, good deal. Just to kind of give you a little bit of background as well, so the final presentation should be available approximately December for public view. So that should be something that we'll be getting here notice in the next few weeks. So we'll make sure to make everyone aware of that as well. Chester County SC 250 Committee, we're in full gear right now. We'll have a booth this weekend at the Richburg Fall Festival, which is this Saturday, just so everyone knows as well, just to kind of come out and see what we have to offer there. Information on upcoming events or preparations will be available as well as any other SC 250 information that they will have at the ready. Just like to say that this is just to highlight all of Chester County veterans, no matter what service, no matter what war they served in. So they gave such a significant contribution to this area, and we want to work hard to make sure that they're not forgotten, their efforts are not forgotten, and that we appreciate every single thing that makes our county really great, and the people here are still reflective of that. So just kind of wanted to give that, that brief overview there. So that's it for me right now.
Can I mention one thing
Yes,
along
sir.
that same line? Does everybody know what October the 19th was yesterday? Yorktown, Virginia, 1781. American Revolutionary War was over. Cornwallis Saloon surrendered. Took 2 years for the Treaty of Paris to get it done, but yesterday was a very vital date in our country's history.
All right. Is there any more comments or discussion? All right, we want to thank you, Vice Chair Mosley, for that update. Next up is 9B, which is follow-up discussion regarding sales tax data. Councilman Guy.
Yes, at our last scheduled council meeting, I made a promise to the citizens that I would find out and do some research on the 1% sales tax that comes through Chester County and which portions of the county, what the numbers were as the percentages of those portions of the county. I'll read those off. One thing I will say is this information is confidential, and one reason why it's confidential is because a lot of these business owners, this is their actual profits of what they actually make, and I can't actually share the numbers of each business owner, but I'm gonna share what the collective numbers are. I want to thank Tommy Daubry for helping me come up with this. He did some work to come up with these numbers, so I'll just call them out. The town of Richburg, 1% sales tax is, I'm doing rough numbers, is roughly $30 million. The unincorporated Richburg is roughly $22 million. So the $30 million comes up to 15%, and the unincorporated Richburg comes up to 11%, which is roughly 26%. The city of Chester is $89 million. That comes up to roughly 44%, and the unincorporated county of Chester comes up to 23%, which is roughly 68%. Town of Fort Lone, $5.5 million, which is actually 2.7%. The town of Great Falls is $7.5 million, which is 3.6%. And the town of Laurie's is $220,000, which is, sorry, but it's just almost 1%.
Right?
Yeah. Taxable sales came up to a total of $203 million. If you do the percentages, we come up with 100%. So with all that being said, the majority of the 1 cent sales tax comes from the city of Chester. The remaining, if you do the two collective together, the city of the Chester and the county, you come in roughly with 68%, and Richburg, being our second, I say largest municipality area, comes up with 26%. Tommy, if you got something to add to it, if I explain that right. Again, thank you for that information. I had some people call me after the meeting and really wanted me to get this information, so we got this information. Again, this information is confidential because this is profits and income of a lot of our business owners, so we can't just necessarily share this information with the public, but I can give you the collective numbers. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Guy. Any discussion? All right, so next up, we have new business. 10A is our Planning and Development Building and Zoning Department update. Invite our Planning Director, Jeremy Wardford.
Thank you, Chairman Wilson and County Council. It is my turn in the lineup to give a quick recap of my department for your review and answer any questions you have. So it's my honor to do that tonight. I'll open by saying, like a few others here, I am a one-man department, but I'm privileged to work closely with many others around the county. Mr. Hester's really assembled a great team here, and it's an honor to be a part of it. There's great collaboration. I'll give particular thanks to Mike Levister, who has graciously given me office space in his wing, and he's a joy to work with. He is at school this evening, so I'll be giving his update for his department as well at the end of mine. I was trying to explain to a friend of mine the other week what my job and my role here at the county is. And as you know, it's football season. It's not been a good football season for me, maybe for some of you too. But I was explaining to him that it's similar to county council being the coaches. Mr. Hester would be the quarterback, and I would be like one of the humble running backs trying to just tote the ball forward and make forward progress with regards to land use, zoning, residential subdivisions, and short and long range plans. So I'm pleased to report that we've had 15 first downs this year, which I consider as text amendments to the zoning ordinance. These are major accomplishments. 1 touchdown, which are completed projects. This is our new subdivision code, which I'm very happy that we made it to the finish line on that one. I also have the privilege of being the first point of contact for many outside people who are considering Chester County, whether that's individual home buyers or developers. I also get to talk with a lot of current residents. This is an opportunity that I don't take lightly. I really take a lot of pride in working to be as cheerful and courteous to people as possible, helping them understand our rules and our laws, and make that as simple as I can. So I've had the opportunity to help about 800 citizens, landowners, and surveyors this year. Again, it's not a perfect analogy. If you look at that, the carries to touchdown ratio is pretty bad. You must think I'm a pretty slow running back. Some of you may look at me and say, well, it's no wonder looking at him, he's not much of a running back figure at all. But I think it's a good analogy, and to help you understand it, I employed artificial intelligence to show you what I might be like. Moving forward, I like to brag on our planning commission a bit. They have had 16 meetings and workshops this year alone. And this is, by the end of the year, we're on track to have more meetings than the past 2 years combined by these volunteers. They are great leaders, great to work with. They're one of the reasons that we were able to write the comprehensive plan and the subdivision code review in-house is because of both their dedication as well as yours. This is a lot of work that's been put in for these. They and you as well have put in a lot of brain power, a lot of time, a lot of reviews, field trips, workshops, public meetings, independent review at home, conversations. Y'all have really put in a lot of work. And my hope is that the end result is not just that we've been able to save a lot of money for the taxpayers of Chester County, that's great, but even more importantly, that these are very custom, highly tailored codes because they have been drawn up by the leaders of Chester County and their appointees. So very proud of where we are right now. My main projects for the year, once again, working on that touchdown so far, which is the subdivision codes. They're 100% complete, 49 pages, which for these, I was trying to make them as short as possible, condense our previous codes, and make them easier to read. We're about 75% complete with the new comprehensive plan. We have a few more workshops and field trips before the end of the year, and then we will get that passed at the beginning of next year, Lord willing. It is projected to be a little over 100 pages at this point. So moving forward, as mentioned, Mr. Hesser's strong on fostering an environment for teamwork, and I'm privileged to be a part of 3 work groups that are trying to accomplish the mission of making Chester County better across 3 particular aspects. These are our redevelopment incentives group, pictured there, as well as our Picking Up Chester group, which is focused on beautification, and our grants team. I'm very grateful to work with all these leaders to improve the county. So what is next? Completing the comprehensive plan will be one of my main focuses over the next couple months. Continuing to work with our municipalities. I also get to serve as the planning director for the town of Great Falls and the town of Fort Lawn as well. And similar to us, they have some work for codes that need to be updating as well, so I look forward to working with them, as well as with our other municipalities. We will be doing some updates to our zoning code in 2026, so please, I hope that you're excited about that as I am. I think there's some exciting changes that we can make there to continue our momentum. We'll be focused on carrying out the action items of our comprehensive plan, some examples there. And then I'm also enrolled in the local Government Leadership Institute. I'm learning about leadership and public finance and public safety. That'll continue into the spring. Thank you for that opportunity for me to grow as a leader. I'll also note briefly, 1 year ago, Chairman Wilson asked me to give a 1-year update on the airport overlay. If you'll recall, that was a zoning overlay district that was passed this time last year. So it's been a year, and I'm back reporting to you. I've referenced it a number of times. It has not impacted any permits so far. It's not been a hindrance or a burden to any landowner around there or any potential new development. So I'm happy to report that to you. Briefly, let me cover the Building and Zoning Department. This is Mike Levister's department. They're responsible for permitting, inspections, plan reviews, code enforcement, among other things. So here's some of their numbers for the year: 325 permits, over 1,300 inspections, and 171 plan reviews. Been hard at work. We talked earlier in the year about my projections for the continued residential growth in Chester County, and you'll see that that has borne witness 10 months in. You can see our numbers of issued permits per year just going up and up. And actually, when you look at the ratio of new homes being built versus the population of the county, so that ratio there, we're growing proportionally faster than York or Lancaster counties. So we have 15.5 new homes being built this year per 1,000 residents. 15.5. Lancaster's at 9.7 new homes per 1,000 residents. York's about 3 homes. So although we don't have the number of new houses coming in proportionally, we are growing very fast. You can see here the total permits for planned developments in the county so far. This is not just this year, but in total. You can see the Walker's Mill, I believe, just issued their last permits. Knights Bridge is moving ahead. They're number 2. And Woodhaven, Stanton, and Richburg Meadows have just begun. These are very good subdivisions, and we're excited to continue working with them. And finally, Mr. TJ Martin was recently assigned to Mike's department. He works hard to prevent litter and enforce our ordinances for the county. So far, TJ has worked 67 litter cases, 34 nuisance and abatement cases. He has posted for 10 dilapidated houses, 7 of which have been torn down, issued 7 tickets, and have 76 completed and closed cases. Thank you very much for your time. Do you have any questions for me?
It didn't take long for you to be in Fort Lawn to be silly.
Thank you.
So for the code enforcement, that's year-to-date from January, the 76
Correct. Yes, sir.
since January.
Correct.
Thank you for the update regarding the airport overlay. That's good to hear that it's going well.
Yes, sir.
Keep us updated. If something changes, let us know.
Absolutely.
Is there any discussion, any questions?
You gonna frame that picture and put it in your office? Okay,
Maybe.
all right.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for the update. Thank you for the work that you do. I think it's safe to say that this council sees it and feels it, and we're excited for it, so keep it up. Next up is 10B, which is the approval of 2026 County Council and CCTC meeting calendar. should have that before you, paper. So, yeah, kind of tan colored paper. Is there a motion for approval on that?
I'll make a motion, we approve the 2026 council and CCTC meeting dates.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All right, hearing none, I'll call for the question. Those in favor, please raise your right hand and say aye.
Aye.
All right, all in favor, so that's been approved. All right, next up is 10C, which is consideration of approval of the Rodman Landscaping Project. Administrator Hester.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, Rodman, the Rodman project was a capital project sales tax ordinance number 2025-21, which it now is. It's been amended several times. Also encompasses Rodman is a candidate, and excess CPST funds can be used towards the Rodman project, and that's been approved by council since I've been here. So we are kind of entering the ending stages of the project. The project is substantially complete. We have one issue inside of our concession stand that we're working out with a vent hood design. But other than that, this project is nearing completion. And so our team, our project team has met a couple times, and what I'm going to propose tonight is that we use excess CPST funds to not just finish this project, but finish it with a lot of, with a landscaping plan that accents this park and sets it apart from, sets it at a level with parks throughout York, Lancaster counties. And so what you see before you, I'm going to just kind of try to explain this to you. Can you go to the next slide for me? See what this is. I have a base bid. We got 3 quotes on this. We actually got 5, but we had the top 3 bids that came in. And so what you'll see here is all these dots were the initial bid, and I'll call it the base bid. So this is a $50,000 project. It doesn't look like much on that. Can you go to the next slide for me? And so there's some decorative areas where you drive in. We took trees down there on the left where you drive into the park. Go to the next slide for me, please. And then there's where you go into the new field. I'll show you an overlay of that in a minute, and a little bit of design there. So this base bid, this includes, and I can tell you all the trees that are being planted there and what all comes with that, but the base bid's $50,000. Go to the next slide for me. And then we have some alternates. This is one of the alternates, and what you see in blue and red is concrete curbing, and that is concrete edging for these beds that they're putting in. And then the blue is curbing to keep cars from driving over into the grass and driving onto the beds, but to make it nice, make it where when they cut grass out there that, you know, the mulch isn't all spread out through the grass and it keeps looking nice and professional. That, the addition of that concrete curbing, and it's almost 400 foot of curbing, is $22,000. Go to the next slide for me. So I'm going to just kind of use this as a general overview. We have alternate, pull mine are marked up a little better. But we have a couple more alternates that are on this bid. So alternate number 1 are the trees all along the outfield. And if you look, it starts with the green, red, all those big trees along the outside of the outfield. And so that alternate to plant all of those different species of trees there is $15,000. Let me just also say that all these, all except a few of these trees come with a warranty. All the landscaping comes with a warranty. It's all irrigated. This includes all irrigation. This is a turnkey job. The mulch, everything, hydro seeding around where they're working. The only trees that we don't have irrigation for they'll have gator bags, or the ones that you see at the bottom. Is that right, Martin? Or yeah, the ones at the bottom. So those will be gator bags that keep them watered. We'll have to fill those gator bags, but those are the only trees that we have that won't be warranted because of the fact we don't have irrigation hooked up on those. All right, and then if you look, alternate number 5 will be, you see the main entrance coming out of the parking lot, and then you see the crepe myrtles, the purple and the reds, once you come into there, plus those other green trees that are right there at that entrance. So that, along with, hold on, I'm looking at my other number 5. Is that the only one for 5, Martin? Okay. So that entrance right there, alternate number 5, that comes up to $3,900. And then alternate number 4 will be the other 8 crepe myrtles that you see on the design and the top and the right of the picture. We didn't want to add any more trees out in those areas just because of the fact that batting cages and then an emergency entrance on that. We did not do the trees in the original design around the back because there's a tree line that runs all the way around the back of that park. So there's no need for additional trees back there. And then I think the last would be alternate number 6, or I'm sorry, that's page 6. Oh, the parking lot. And if you look, so if you look over to beside the parking lot, see all the blue dots running down through there? That is 184 3-gallon, I don't know if I say this right, ligustrum. And those will basically, there's a strip that's probably 3 to 4 foot wide right there. So instead of trying to keep grass, keep people from parking there, we're going to put a hedge down through there, a hedge between the 2 parking lots, and then a hedge all the way down to where it meets the old concession stand. So all that together, installed, the mulching, the hydroseeding, everything is $110,000. So whereas you all have approved the use of excess funds, anytime we're going to spend that type of money, I want to bring it to you all. And I can answer any questions. That would be paid out of excess CPST funds. Tommy and I went through the numbers today, and even after the addition of the courthouse ADA, the Great Falls Visitor Center, and all the other projects, we still have almost $1.7 million in that, and it continues to grow. So any questions on, I know that was kind of, go to the next picture. Let me see what else I have is that it? That's the last one. Okay. And that kind of brings it all back into picture for you. You just don't see the hedges.
Why didn't you say, explain to me why you say you didn't put anything on the backfields again?
So if you take a look, and I'll just use left and right because that's where it's orientated. The left side where we're adding the trees, the right side, there's a tree line. There's the pine tree line that runs back there. So it would really, and they're very tall. They don't set that far off of the fields.
Okay.
I can add them if you'd like.
No, I was just curious. Just curious.
I was trying to look at the trees. There are 2 teams from Chester County that go to Fort Mill and play the little boys baseball every week. The Royals and the Rangers. And they play within that, and they play at Banks Trail Park. And then there's a park over at Tigger Cay. And I don't remember exactly. I think they got some hedges and stuff like that. I just don't remember how much is how much. But I don't remember it being an awful lot because the kids are in there just playing, and and they didn't spend an awful lot of money putting that kind of stuff in there. But they spent a lot of money building the park. So I don't know if I don't know what $100,000 looks like. Obviously, it looks like this.
Right. I can tell you that, I can kind of read off. The base bid has approximately between trees and And bushes, there's close to 300 and something plants. There's 22,500 square feet of hydroseed, 138 cubic yards of topsoil, pine straw mulch. And I can tell you the numbers of trees if you all would like. On the outfield trees, there's a total of 11. And those are sycamores, Chinese evergreen oaks, about 400 foot of the curbing. Then the ball field trees that are within there's 8 of those total: willow oaks, red maples, eastern redbuds, some crepe myrtles. And I think the other goal with this that I probably should have clarified, especially the outfield trees. Number one, the parking lot, the base bid's really just beautification. When you walk in, to make it look nice, right? Not just a barren wasteland of, dirt and grass. But some of the goal with the trees and the crepe myrtles, and not so much crepe myrtles, but the trees around the outfield, is because people like to sit sometimes out there and watch the games. There's only so much bleacher space. Some people like to stay on the outskirts, and so we want to provide a little bit of shade in those areas where we can as well. As they mature, they'll provide shade. But listen, we're only bringing this as, I've had, a lot of input and, talked to some members of our community, but this is just a proposal to council. You all can, we could obviously table this if you'd like, to have some community input, or it's just completely up to y'all. It's just a proposal.
I don't have a problem planting them. I just think that I'm gonna be there Wednesday night watching a baseball game with a 7-year-old playing. And I can look at it and count them. But for the sake of argument, Banks Trail and Tigger K would be whatever they got. I think that would be appropriate for us to have the same thing, or as close to it as we could get.
And we tried to make, the other thing, just for council, is Martin and I kind of went out there and met with the landscaper who had the lowest, or the landscape company had the lowest bid. And one of our goals was maintenance, ease of maintenance. So all this is stuff that we can take care of, easily maintainable. Not something that, we don't have any perennials or anything like that out there. These are all hedge, bush, trees, things we can maintain as well. So it's just for council consideration.
So you are asking, though, that if we did want to move forward with this, that we would need to have a motion to approve $110,000?
So you just approve that I move forward with the landscaping project if council would wish for this to move forward.
With the understanding that it's going to be around that range?
That's correct. Because we have had some discussion of maybe changing a few species of tree from the Chinese oak, correct? So we are looking at that, but it's not going to change our dollar amount. We pay per caliper on those trees more than anything.
All right. Well, I'd like to make a motion to approve the use of CPST funds for the Rodman Landscaping Project.
I'll second.
All right, is there any discussion? So by all means, I'm sure, Mr. Hester, you would encourage council members to reach out to you if they had questions or want to meet you out there.
Correct, yeah, and if you'd like to, or there's something that you see that, why don't we do something different here or there? Again, we just tried to kind of come up with some simple things that we could take care of, but made the park look beautiful as well.
Is there any discussion? Not, I'll call for the question. Those in favor of approving a Rodman landscaping plan as spoken about, raise your right hand and say aye.
Aye.
All right, that was all in favor. Next up, we have boards and commissions. First is on item 11A, which is the Chester County Historical Cemeteries Advisory Committee appointment. Councilman Agee.
I spoke with Reverend Neely Gaston and Ms. Angleton. He says she's top-notch, and I'd like to recommend her for District 1.
All right. right, so we have a motion for, that's Sandra Anglin?
I'll second.
That's right, Mr. Agee, right? Sandra Anglin.
Yes,
Okay, gotcha.
that lady said right there.
All right, sounds good. Is there any discussion? Not, I'll call for the question to appoint Sandra Anglin to the Chester County Historical Cemeteries Advisory Committee. Those in favor, please raise your right hand and say aye.
Aye.
All right, all approved. All in favor. Next up is 11B, which is also the Chester County Historical Cemeteries Advisory Committee appointment. Councilman Raines.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make the motion to approve Billy Sanders for Historical Cemeteries Advisory Committee appointment.
All right, we have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? All right, those in favor of appointing Billy Sanders to the Chester County Historical Cemeteries Advisory Committee, raise your right hand and say aye.
Aye.
All right, all in favor. Next up, we have item 11C, which is again the Chester County Historical Cemeteries Advisory Committee. Councilman Guy.
Yes, Chairman, I make a motion that we appoint Justin Sharp to the Chester County Historical Cemeteries Advisory Committee.
All right, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, any discussion? Call for the question. Those in favor, raise your right hand and say aye.
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 All in favor. Next up is 11D, which is the Advisory Committee appointment. And Councilman Killian is not here tonight, but I would imagine we could probably move forward with this if there's a motion on the floor.
I'll make a motion, we appoint Mr. Neely Gaston to the Chester County Historical Cemeteries Advisory Committee in District 6.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Is everybody comfortable moving forward with this, even though he's currently the chair, is that correct?
Yes.
Mr. Hester, so
Mhm.
Right.
I will call for the question. Those in favor, please raise your right hand and say aye.
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 All right, all in favor. Next up, we have 11E, which is the Chester County Library Board resignation. Councilman Brunson.
Yes, I'd like to thank Mr. David McCown for his service to the Chester County Library Board and accept his resignation.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor, please raise your right hand and say aye.
Aye.
All in favor. Next up is 11F, the Hazel Pittman Center Board of Directors. Again, Councilman Brunson.
I'd also like to thank Ms. Maxine Tate for serving on the Hazel Pittman Center Board of Directors and moves to approve her reappointment to that board.
I'll second.
All right,
But is that Ms. Maxine Tate?
Maxine Tate.
all right, I have a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion? Call for the question. Those in favor, raise your right hand and say aye.
Aye.
All in favor. Next, we have the Parks and Recreation Advisory Commission. Again, Councilman Brunson.
Yes, Justin Temple, he spoke to us at the last meeting with Parks and Recreation. I'd like to thank him for his service and make a motion to approve his reappointment to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Commission.
I second that.
All right, is there any discussion? Call for the question. Those in favor, please raise your right hand and say aye.
Aye.
All in favor. Next up is 11H, which is the Zoning Board of Appeals resignation. Mr. Councilman Agee.
That's Mr. Mike McBrayer is resigning, and make a motion we accept his resignation.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to accept the resignation and a second. Is there any discussion? Call for the question. Please raise your right hand. Those in favor, please raise your right hand and say aye.
Aye.
All in favor. All right, and that brings us to number 12, which is executive session. 12A is a discussion of matters relating to the proposed location, expansion, or the provision of services, encouraging location or expansion of industries or other businesses in the area served by the public body for project P2521. B is the same for project P2554. And C is also the same for project P2583. Is there a motion to go into executive session?
Make a motion to move to executive session.
Second.
Motion and second.